Good morning, everyone. It's 7:10 a.m., 47 degrees. Another beautiful sunrise here in Quartzsite, Arizona. You can see my setup behind me. I'm not going to waste a lot of time on this morning face here. Look at what we've got going on. The sun hasn't popped up yet. It's so quiet that all my neighbors can hear me right now if they're not sleeping. Got in yesterday. Put up a bit of a camp. As you can see, I'll show you my setup as we walk around on this beautiful, crisp, clear, and quiet morning here in Quartzsite. So I'm still setting stuff up. Haven't put the flag up yet this morning. I don't like to leave it up all night. But I put up the clam. We're gonna do some cooking. I've got some stuff hiding in here. So we'll clean that all up and I'll show it to you again later. Got the bike in there, but I got the Blackstone. Got my my gas one stove. We're gonna do some cooking. Of course, got the pellet smoker. Yeah, so that's gonna be fun. What I've got on tap for today is, I think I'll talk a little bit about my, you're probably dying to know how my suspension upgrade went. How did the installation of my road active suspension go, and did I get any results? What are the results? We'll talk about that, and then we're going to do some questions and comments. We're going to open up the old book and respond to your comments and the questions you've been asking over the last week and a half or so. So stay tuned for that. Let me get some coffee and let the sun come up, and then we'll get right into it. All right? All right, stay tuned. This is going to be a good one. All right, let's do a quick breakfast. This is partially set up. Oh, here's my view from inside the clam, inside my kitchen. I've lowered the panels on the outside, the panels that keep out the wind and the rain, dropped them. What, about 20%? So I got a view, a little bit of airflow, but not any wind blowing out my fire on my Blackstone. So I got some beef tallow on there, and this will be a quick breakfast. I've got prepared here some leftover, this is eggs with sardines and onions and garlic. Sounds delicious, huh? For that, so I've thrown that on there, and I've got this turned down. I think what I'm going to do is turn one side completely off, because this is already cooked. I just need to warm it up. And what I don't want to do is burn it on the bottom. So I've got this cover here that folds up, this silicone little hat. We're going to put that on there, trap the heat, warm that bad boy up, right? I'm going to warm this up. I don't know if I'll bring you back or if I'll just eat it, because we got to move on. That's breakfast. Okay, everyone, I'm back. Yeah, it's been hours since we last spoke. It's nice and warm now. Can you believe it's 78 degrees out here in Quartzsite today? Nothing's changed here except the weather's fabulous. Another wonderful winter day in Quartzsite, but I put up some solar here, doing the solar thing. So people want to know what am I doing with this solar? What are these panels powering? So real quick, just so you know, the Renogy hard panels here, those are powering that. There's a charge controller on that, and that's going right into the camper, charging my house batteries, topping them off. This 200-watt panel here, I'm running in the window right there because I've got a portable power station in there. See, I don't have an inverter in my trailer. It's all 12 volts. So if I want anything that's 110 volts, I need to be on shore power or a portable power station. So I have one in there, and I run my Starlink off it. Even though the Starlink is running 12 volt, it's running USB-C, and they want a 100-watt output on that. So that's going in there. The output in the trailer, it's an older trailer. It doesn't have a 100-watt output. And then I can charge my laptop. I can plug in an electric blanket. I can charge all my accessories like my electric shaver, my computer, all that stuff off the personal portable power station that's also sitting inside for when I need other than 12 volts. And the other 200-watt panel I use to just charge arbitrary, again, power stations. I've got a 12-volt fridge in the back seat of my truck, as you know, and I run that off of a power station, and I've got two that I just switch out. When one gets low, I yank it out, charge it up, and then it's running off the other one. So that's what we're doing solar-wise. I showed you the kitchen earlier. I've got a burger on the smoker, and I'm just trying to relax in the shade here. Okay, I'm planted. Thank you for your patience. So let's talk about, let's start with the suspension upgrade. I put an RAS system on there. What do they call it? Road Active Suspension. Now I put this same system on my Chevy Colorado, and it's just a bolt-on spring, really. There's one spring for each of the leaf springs on the back. So you just put your vehicle up in the air, yank off the wheels so you have some room to move in there, and bolt this thing on, and then you can adjust the tension on the spring, how much tension you want. And they come with these little what do they call them? One's like the thickness of a dime and one's like the thickness of a quarter, and you slide them between the springs as you adjust the spring and pull it tighter and tighter. The white one, the thin one, is 25% resistance, and the black one, which is like a nickel, it's like a nickel thickness, that one is 40%, and I went for 40%. I wanted the most. And then you just throw the wheels back on and you're good to go. And then you can do it yourself. I have this terrible arthritis and neuropathy. I can't even get the top off a tube of toothpaste. So for me to do this would have been frustrating and painful. In retrospect, though, I could have put the shout out here in Quartzsite, and nomads would have come running to help me, and that would have been a better idea. Not just for saving money, but I could have put some food on the smoker and maybe chill some beers and met some new friends. I was in a hurry, and I didn't think that through. I should have brought those things back here and said, hey, who wants to help me? That would have been fun next time. But anyway, they're on there, and I'm happy with it. I got about 1.5 inches rise out of the back end when it's fully loaded and the trailer is attached. I took a picture on the way into Buckeye in one of the rest stops, just showing the truck and trailer so you could see the squat that I was getting. And then I took a picture on the way back at a rest stop so you could see the squat that remains. And there's still maybe a tiny bit of squat, but it's really much better. It rides wonderfully. I recommend them. I know nothing about this stuff. I'm certainly not an expert, but just from a price point of view, it was less than $500. And if you do it yourself, that's it. And you can do it. They claim you can do it in an hour. And the professional mechanic, of course, could do it in an hour. Some guys, I went and looked at some videos. Some guys actually show you how they do it. They put them on right on the video, and it looks really simple. One guy said it took him 45 minutes. So look into that. Go to YouTube, Road Active Suspension, if you're curious. And I think I've got a picture. I took a picture, a few feet of footage at the shop when they pulled the wheel off so you could see the spring back there. It's kind of hard to see the spring once you put the wheel back on. It's dark in there, but you'll get the idea. And that's what it is, a very simple device that seems to solve a lot of problems for not a whole lot of money and not a whole lot of headache. Just one option. That's the only one I've ever done. It works for me. Take a look at it. I hope it works for you. I hope that answers that question. People wanted me to give you a link to that product. The first time I bought it from eTrailer. I bought many products from eTrailer. They're a wonderful company. They take really good care of you, good customer service. You can call them on the phone with questions. This one, they were having a sale, so there was a huge promotion on Facebook and YouTube, and I just, ordered it right from the company, put it on PayPal, so I got 6 months to pay for it, interest-free, and boom, there you go. That's how that worked out for me. I told you guys I was going to, when I came back, that I was going to go to Roadrunner. So it's been probably 3 days. I'm sorry, I'm moving slow. I did go to Roadrunner and spent the night. I got in there after the sun went down, so I didn't have a whole lot of time to look around. But I found a spot that was nice enough. And the next day, there was just someone off in the distance that gave me the creeps a little bit. And then there was a group over here. During the night, I thought I smelled something like if somebody had peed all over the ground. It wasn't anything that was really objectionable. It was I wasn't even sure what I was smelling. Excuse me here. And then the next day, this group over on this side of me, they were 50 yards away, but they had 3 porta potties set up there, 3 porta potties. So that told me there were 4 of them on site, 4 vehicles, that there was going to be something was going to happen. Well, you don't bring porta potties out to the desert unless you're having some kind of an event. So I had the guy that made me uncomfortable over here, and I had the porta potties over here, so I thought I'd move and I'd find another spot. So I ran around a little bit, and I ran up Old Yuma Road. Old Yuma Road runs into that La Paz Drive right down there at Roadrunner. And Old Yuma Road, you probably, if you watched me, you know, and saw me earlier, runs all the way up to Tyson Wells, all the way to the Big Tent. It'll run all through Roadrunner. It's the border of Roadrunner, the western border. It runs all the way up to the LTVA, to Tyson Wash LTVA, and then to Tyson, what is it, La Posa West LTVA, and then of course you're at Tyson Wash in the Big Tent. So I followed that in my truck all the way up to the LTVA. Didn't see any place that I wanted to camp. I'd never made that run before. It was interesting, and then I decided I would just, it was, you know, I was tired. I didn't want to go back and search Roadrunner some more. So I came back up here to Palmosa Road, where I'm familiar, easy in, easy out, quiet. There's more space here. There's fewer people here. And so that's where I am right now. Sorry, I didn't give you an extensive look at the Roadrunner area. We might get back down there and try that again later. You never know what the future will bring. So that's why I'm up here. My neighbor, 2 doors down, 200 yards away, Sally came over to greet me and welcome me to the neighborhood. Brought me, she wanted me to try, what did she have? She had a pretty interesting, I'm kind of a boring beer drinker, but she had some kind of Michelob Ultra lime cactus beer she wanted me to try. Normally I don't go for any flavored beers, but I'm not going to say no to that young lady. And it was wonderful, it was very refreshing. And we sat here and talked probably for a couple hours. I hope I didn't bore her to tears. But anyway, so friendly area, Quartzsite's just great. And that was, I was glad I came back to Palmosa Road. So that brings us to where we are right now, right? Am I all caught up? I'm all caught up, got the burger on. So let's talk about, let's do some of the comments and questions and catch up over the last 12 days. I'm a little behind schedule on everything here. I've got some kind of a terrible fatigue problem and I don't know why, but it doesn't really matter. I'm just tired all the time. Can't have anything to do with my age. A lot of you, again, wish me a happy Thanksgiving. That's just wonderful. I'm so glad that you did that. We've got Elizabeth Ireland 6320 from Canada wishing me a happy Thanksgiving. She's got some snow up there. So Elizabeth, come on down. Okay, we've got a lot of, you know, it's funny. I did that video on that best heater for van life and small campers, that little Cupid butane heater, and that's getting more views now than it did when I put it out a year and a half ago, 2 years, whenever it was. I don't even remember what I said about this heater, except I love it. I used it this morning. It's really efficient and wonderful, but people are asking lots of questions here. Smooth 111012 asks, will it work on propane also? It's a butane stove, and no, it'll only work with the little butane cylinders. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? For those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, let me grab this heater. Let's get this out so we can look at it. Here it is. It comes in this cute little case. The case is fairly flimsy, so if you get one, be careful about that. But so it opens up, the little case, let me see if I can do this. Opens up and here it is. So you just pull this thing out, put this on the ground. And look how small this is. This is a heater, a butane heater. And if you notice that it looks kind of like the Mr. Buddy, because it is. It's the same principle, it's just much, much smaller. And I've got a Mr. Buddy. I used it in my 10x10 tent that I would attach to my runaway camper back in the good old days. Heated up the whole tent, heated up the whole runaway. But it's too big for this. It takes up too much floor space. The footprint's too big. And it's too hot. I mean, it's just too much heat. This is much better for small spaces. I'm so glad I found this, and it's been a pleasant surprise because I've been using it now for what, a year and a half, 2 years, and it's got, you know, it's got the control here, the dial, and you just turn it on, push it in, turn it on, and when you get the click at the bottom, that's when it ignites and fires up. And then on this side is where you put the canister. Now I never leave the here's what they look like, the fuel canisters. These little. I'm not going to do another review on this thing. I just want you to know what we're talking about because a lot of people are talking about this. And if you weren't one of the ones that watched it and you didn't make comments about it, you won't even know what we're talking about. But you just, you know, you pop off the lid, and it's got this little window on top to line this up, and you shove it in there and line it up, give it a half a twist, and then turn it on, and you get about 4.5 hours out of this this little cylinder, but I run this literally for 20 minutes in the morning. I get up, run it for 20 minutes, and be sure to put a fan behind it. And I should have brought the fan too. Okay, so I've got this little clip-on fan, but it also just stands up, and it's got 3 speeds, and it's a USB, and it's here. Here's the low speed. You can't hear anything. It's putting out a very small volume of air. You just want to move that heat. You want to move that heat. You've got to put this behind it on the ground, and that moves the heat forward. Otherwise, the heat just goes straight up to the ceiling. It'll eventually heat your area, but you're heating the ceiling first, and then the heat has to work its way down. If you do this, it moves the warm air around and heats up very quickly. So 15-20 minutes is all I do. And then I turn it off. For me, and I recommend this to everybody, just use it to warm either before you go to bed. You want to warm everything up before you take your clothes off, and then shut it down, get in bed, fine. Wake up in the morning, it's cold. This is what I do. I wake up in the morning and it's really cold. I don't run the heat at all at night, and I always have an open window. You guys know this about me. I have to have fresh air. So I'm never closed in. And when I wake up, I jump out of bed, turn on the heat. I'll turn on my Aldi system, which takes at least 30 to 45 minutes or an hour to heat this thing up. When I'm impatient, I can fire this up at the same time, put it on the floor. I'm not kidding. 20 minutes later, I'll go from 55 to 70 degrees in there. It's a wonderful little heater when you're in a small space. Leave a window open. You've got to have some air circulation. That's what we're talking about. Okay, so we'll continue on now. Sorry about that. I just feel like we're running blind here. So that's the question was, will it run on propane? No, it'll only run on butane. And if you're curious, we've gone this far. K&B Tools here in Quartzsite, $2.25 for one of these cans. So that's really not bad. $2.25. And I use these also in my Gas One single burner stove for cooking and heating water outside my outside kitchen. You'll see that same canister. So that's convenient for me. I buy these usually, like I'll buy a dozen of them, and then I don't have to worry about it for a year. Anyway, that's the end of that. Rock on Wink. Hey, buddy. Good to see you commenting. You're always with me. I appreciate you. He's never been to Quartzsite yet, but he saw Kofa, my video on Kofa, and he wants to give that a try. I highly recommend Kofa National Wildlife Refuge. It's beautiful. Joseph James, Z71. Z71. That sounds like a wonderful truck made by Chevrolet. Joseph, he asks, any updates on the performance of the Set Power DT45? So he was 7 months ago or so, I did that review on a Set Power 12-volt refrigerator, the DT45, and he wants to know if I have updates on the performance. And it's fine. I'm not using it on a daily basis, but I've only used it off and on. Especially if I'm camping with friends and we need extra food and extra beverages to be chilled, and it's working flawlessly. It's for what it is. It's a budget fridge, but it's got a lot of bang for the buck, and it's got a 3-year warranty. You're going to see it in the future some more. You'll see it soon, Joseph, if you want to see some more. But I don't think you can go wrong with that fridge for that price. All right, let's see. What have we got here? Carol Maplesden, 916. She's talking about, I was talking about Saddle Mountain. You know, if you remember, I went to Saddle Mountain. There were too many flies. I was looking for a place to boondock close to Phoenix. It's about halfway between Phoenix and Quartzsite. And she wants to know, are there any other boondocking spots near there? Because she's got family nearby, and it would be convenient to find boondocking near them for when she comes to visit. Okay, Carol, let me think. Because there is something. What's out there? Ooh, off Highway Arizona 85, right? That goes through Buckeye there. It goes north-south from Highway 10 all the way down to Gila Bend and Ajo. There's a place called Robbins Butte Wildlife Area. It's BLM. You can camp there. And that's just 5 minutes from, the old downtown Buckeye, really. Check that out on a map, Robbins Butte Wildlife Area. And you can boondock there. It's BLM. Check that out. That's the closest that I know. And I was out there. I didn't camp there, but I scoped it. I didn't see any fly problem out there, so you'll be good to go. A lot of people just giving me a thumbs up. I appreciate you guys giving me the thumbs up. That's so nice. Oh yeah, Book Bakery wants to know what kind of an e-bike I've got. Well, she wants to know what kind of bike I have, and is it an e-bike? Yes, it is, Book Bakery. You know how I hate to talk about my e-bike. You guys don't roll your eyes, don't go away. This will be quick. But let's show Book Bakery. Let me show you my e-bike. I've talked about it. I had to get a foldy bike. Had to fold in half so I could put it in the back of my truck. I don't have a bike rack. And it's electric. It's got to be electric for me. I'm old. Pedaling uphill is not an option for any length of time. So in fact, I mentioned Sally came down and brought me a beer, and we had a long conversation. She also wanted to know about this bike, and so I let her ride it. Let's see what we got here. See if I can work this camera. Let's come like this. There it is. Wow. Okay, so it's a Velotrek or Velotric, and I also would recommend the electric bike. Electric, not electric, but electric, starting with an L. They're out of Phoenix. They have a brand new XP4 folding bike. That would be a reliable bike with great customer service. I wanted this one. It's about 5 pounds lighter, and every pound counts, but I'm trying to pick this up and put it in the back of my truck. Also, I like that this battery comes off very easily. The battery weighs 10 pounds, so the battery comes off before I try putting that into the truck. I mean, I take off the seat post. I take off whatever I can to make it lighter. But I love this bike. I'll do another conversation about the bike in the future. Don't want to spend any time on it right now. The Velotric is the one I've got. It is an e-bike. And I think it is just a barrel of fun. I called her Cheryl. But Sally, golly, she's going to kill me if she watches this video. Sally really had a good time. It was fun to watch. She's, 10 years younger than I am or so. But it was like she was 11 years old again. She really was having a good time. And it warmed my heart to see that, that it brought that smile to her face, because that's what it does. It just, electric bikes, they're just so much fun. You can ride for miles and miles. She was surprised at what a smooth ride she got on this rough surface. So anyway, Book Bakery, check it out. Thanks for asking. One of my other viewers, Michelle, Micmac. Hi, Michelle. She bought the same bike in this beautiful yellow color. They come in 4 different colors. And the yellow is called Mango. And it really jumps out. I wanted the mango when I bought it. It looked like, if you've watched, Transformers, or who's Bumblebee? Is that Transformers? Bumblebee, bright yellow and black, but it's bright yellow with these black letters. It looks just like Bumblebee. The reason I didn't buy that color is you can see it a mile away. The reason I didn't buy it is the reason she did buy it. She said if she ever got lost, she'd be easier to spot from the air with that bike with that bright yellow color, and she is so true. That is so true. I was afraid that thieves would see it from a mile away and it would attract their attention, and e-bikes are a hot ticket for thieves. So I got the gray hopefully to blend in as much as possible and not jump out. But the yellow, that's my favorite color. That was Michelle. Michelle, I hope you're enjoying the bike as much as I am. All right, what else have we got here? Yeah, William Bingham, he's got a Haybike Ranger 1800. He loves his e-bike. It's a sweet ride, but heavy. They're all heavy, aren't they? Yeah, that's the hard part, but boy, are they fun. Jane Bray 9392. Hi, Jane. Yeah, she was excited to see the inside of my trailer finally. I usually don't take you in there because I'm not the greatest housekeeper, and it's so tiny. I've got it jammed with stuff. She's got a little 12-foot trailer, and she wouldn't have it any other way. She likes the small trailers. Oh, what's this? She says, I've been in La Posa South for 2 weeks now. So you're my neighbor, Jane. You're here. You're in Quartzsite. I'm probably going to be LTVA January 1st, I think. I want to run over to California and see my granddaughters for Christmas. How could I not? I want to see them so bad I'm going to battle that horrible traffic nightmare. Oh, I just would practically rather, get a root canal than do that. But if I'm up to it, if I'm feeling strong, I'm driving over there. So then January 1st, I think I'm going to do the LTVA thing so I can sit tight for a couple months and work on some things. So anyway, Jane, maybe I'll see you. Let's see here. Stewart, 866. He wants to know if there's any tips to discourage rodents. He's headed down to Plamosa in January. Yeah, you're going to love it out here. I haven't really had Plamosa doesn't seem to have the rodent problem that the LTVA has, and I think it's because there aren't as many people out here. There's a huge food source with the 1 million people that go to the LTVA. You'll know if you see holes in the ground where you're camping, those are either tarantula spiders, but probably not snakes, which, they're going to hibernate, or they're rodents and they're going to come out at night. All I can tell you is they feed on your wires. If you've got peppermint spray, you can make your own or you can buy commercial. Spray your wires under your hood down. Getting them out of your camper, don't have a bunch of food in there where they can get at it. I put my dry storage food, almost all of it, 99% of it, in that refrigerator that came with my camper. I've got that 3-way fridge. I don't like the 3-way fridge. Excuse me. And the rodents can't get into your refrigerator, so I store all my dry goods, all my dry food in the refrigerator. And then I put my Iceco APL35 12-volt compressor fridge freezer in there on a bench and plug that into the house batteries, and I use that as my refrigerator freezer, not the stock one, not the house one. And that's how I keep them away, keep them out of the camper, because they don't smell the food. I don't have potato chips and crackers and pasta and all kinds of stuff that they want to come after. If you can put that kind of thing, seal it in some kind of plastic container where it really seals it airtight and that aroma of the food isn't wafting through the air, drawing them to your camper. Some people put lights underneath their camper. I've tried that. I don't know if it helps or not. I've got security lights that come on. They motion when they detect motion and they come on. And I put those under there. I think those are effective because the mice will come sneaking up and it's all dark and all of a sudden, boom, that light's in their face and that would startle them and they'd run off. I'm not positive if they work, but you could try that too. In the end, there's nothing that's 100%. People get into problems, but I haven't had a problem here in Quartzsite. As I mentioned before, my problems have all come from the high country. Zelda. Hi, Zelda. She's asking me what was my decision process when I bought my truck. Why did I pick diesel over a gas, or why did I pick a diesel? Zelda, why did I pick a diesel? I have been really anti-diesel. I just didn't know anything about them except that it's supposed to be so dirty, right? Smoky and dirty and da-da-da-da. But my son has my truck in the AT4, the one I really wanted, and he's got the Duramax diesel, and he's had it for 3 years now. He's got 60,000 miles on it, and he's very happy with that little diesel engine in his Sierra AT4. He's got 2 more inches of ground clearance and the great big tires and all the luxury stuff inside, which I wanted all of that. It was like my Z71. It's the GMC equivalent of the Chevy Z71. But I couldn't afford it. They were more money, and this was used. This was on a lot, just the way it is. The opportunity presented itself, and this does just fine for me. But the diesel, I wouldn't have bought it, I don't think, if my son hadn't said, look, I really like this engine, I really like this truck. I don't think you'll be disappointed. Give it a try. And I'm not disappointed. It tows like a dream, and it's such a comfortable ride. It's so quiet, and the engines are smooth. I didn't realize what a smooth engine it is. It's an inline 6. There's no vibration. So that's why I picked the diesel. He said he got great gas mileage. That didn't all sink in until I got mine, and the gas mileage is phenomenal. It really is. And so to have all that extra power, I can drive 15, 20 miles an hour faster down the freeway, and to get 4 or 5 more miles to the gallon. It's all good so far. It's all good. So that's why I bought the diesel, is because my son has one and he loves his. So there you go. I'm happy so far. We'll see. Stay tuned. Things can change. All right, what have we got here? Kim Padella says, everything looks peaceful. Have a great day and stay safe. Thank you, Kim. Robert Aherns. Robert, he's going to comment on the heater that we just talked about, on the heater that burns this fuel. Robert's, his comment is all capital letters, so obviously the cap lock works on your computer, but so it's kind of like this is yelling at me here. He says, any heater that burns gas makes carbon monoxide and will kill you dead with invisible, odor-free, deadly carbon monoxide poisoning. ... Don't ever use any type of gas heater in a confined ... space ever, more exclamation points, and an emoji. Robert, yeah, you're absolutely right. what we've got to talk about, though, is confined space. Let's define confined space. If you watch my channel, you know I've always got an open window, and I don't know of anyone that's gotten sick or died with this particular product. But I know a lot of people that have been using it for years, and they love it. I used it, like I mentioned this morning. Heated me right up in 15, 20 minutes, and I was heating water for my coffee with propane gas on the stove at the same time. So I appreciate your concern, all capital letters and all the exclamation points. I don't know if you've had a bad experience, but you're right. Confined space is the key. People do kill themselves burning gas in confined spaces. I don't know if this particular product is one to worry about, but I appreciate your input. I do. Yeah, and I'm glad you brought it up, because I reiterate the point. Don't seal your camper up, your van up, your car up, if you're using any of those. Whether it's Mr. Buddy claims you can use it in your house, but do you want to? I don't know. Mr. Buddy has got a cutoff in oxygen when the oxygen gets low, because they do burn oxygen. It's a fire. And when the oxygen starts to get low, it will shut down. I don't think there's any kind of safety shut off on this little Cupid heater. But like I mentioned, if you use it like you should, which is just run it for a short period of time to heat things up, and then shut it off, and always have a window cracked, always. I sleep with the window open all night long, and I have no heat running whatsoever. I just like the fresh air. And then I still leave one window open when I wake up and turn the heat on, no matter what it is. So very important. Thank you, Robert. Appreciate you. Let's see what we got going here. Oh, Ashley Black 327. She loves the heater. She said, what did she say here? Oh no, she doesn't love the heater. It's funny how I've noticed with comments, I'll get positive comments on whatever it is. Doesn't matter the subject. Positive. As soon as I get the one negative comment, then it opens the floodgates. It's like people are standing by, but they don't want to be the first one. They don't want to go against the grain. But as long as they've got, now somebody's done that. Now they've got, they've got a team they can be on, and they jump in. So Ashley, what is Ashley here? I don't mean to laugh at you, Ashley, but you jumped in right after Robert here, and she says, if you want steamed up windows and the van floor rusting from the inside out, use my heater. Okay, I've never had a moisture problem with the Mr. Buddy or with this again. I think it's because I always have an open window, and again, I was making steam when I was making my coffee. As steam was coming out of my teapot while I was running this heater, I still had no moisture on the walls or the windows. So thank you for that. She says it's best to get a diesel heater as they provide dry heat. And I agree with you. Diesel heaters are wonderful. The problem is this review wasn't about a diesel heater. This was about the one I had. And I just wanted to share it with my viewers because I think it's a wonderful little heater. And if you're in a small space and you need a little heater, this might fit your situation, is why I did it. But a diesel heater, is wonderful. I don't have one. I've never had one. I've never used one. But I've got friends that have diesel heaters, and they absolutely love them. And now that I've got a diesel truck, maybe someday I'll do that. But I've got a heater. I've got an Aldi system in here. And so I don't need the diesel heater, really. That puts out a ton of heat. And you can run that all night on your diesel fuel. It's totally different than this little thing. And not what I need. I wouldn't need that in my current situation. But thank you. Thank you for that. And other people might want to look into a diesel heater. Paramime 1, did I say that right? She's going to talk about this little heater again. You see what I mean? I put this video out like a year and a half ago, and everybody's watching it now, and it must be because it's winter. But I think I put it out in winter, and it's getting way more traction now than it ever did when I put it out. She said the problem with this heater is no refillable butane cylinders. That's right. These are not refillable. And so Paramime 1 says, I won't contribute to the landfill. Propane can be refilled. Okay, yeah, good point. And if you figured out a way to not throw anything into a landfill, my heart goes out to you. That's wonderful. All the credit. Okay, here's another one. Yeah, we're on a roll now. Two Vision Digital says he would go with the Mr. Buddy, and we talked about that. Mr. Buddy's got too much heat, and it's too big a footprint for me for this little tiny camper. But he says, keep in mind, camping gas canisters are to be eventually banned. So he's saying these are going to be banned. We're not going to be able to get these. I'm going to have to look into that. I haven't heard that. I don't know if it's true or not. If they ban these, I'm going to buy about 4 dozen before the ban. But oh, Blue Note Woodworks asked me, he's watched both my reviews of fridges. I did the Set Power. We talked about that Set Power budget fridge. And then he saw my Iceco APL35 review. And he asked a question it's really not a fair question for the Set Power people. It says, which one do you like the best? Well, I like the Iceco the best. But for obvious reasons, the Iceco cost, while it's not the most expensive one, it's a middle-of-the-road unit. It's probably twice as much as the Set Power. You could buy 2 Set Powers, I think, for the price of the Iceco. And the Iceco, they're just the fit and the finish, the quality. There's no, plastic latch to break off. The Iceco, I would prefer if somebody just had them on the table and said, take your pick, you can have whichever one you want, and money wasn't involved, the Iceco is going to win every time. I don't know anybody that would go with, brushed aluminum or plastic. 5-year German compressor, 3-year Chinese compressor. You know what I'm saying? It's not a fair comparison. I think the Set Power is a fine unit, but I'm going with the Iceco every time if I can. Blue Note Woodworks. Yeah, if you can afford it, I would recommend the Iceco. And if you watched my video, which you claim you did, you know that my very first one that I ever bought was an Iceco, and the warranty, the 5-year warranty, that expired a year ago. It's still working fine, 24/7. Yeah, I really like the Iceco. I can personally vouch for them just because I've had that kind of experience. But thank you, Blue Note Woodworks, for the question. Jim Penix thinks that the people talking doom and gloom about Quartzsite are just trying to keep the crowds to a minimum. Maybe. And Nanovan Explorer says that, because I'm always raving about Plumosa Road, where I am right now, he said RV or TV's favorite also. Yes, Russ from RV or TV loves Plumosa Road, and we all love Russ. Oh, God, thank you, Vano Explorer. And Rescue Dog Treats asked me, are there areas of the LTVA that you could go way out beyond the place where most people camp together? So I'm assuming Rescue Dog Treats wants to get away from the crowd, but still wants to stay on the LTVA. Sorry, I couldn't resist. It's fun to stay at the... No, I won't do it to you. But yeah, all you have to do is keep driving further out. Most of the crowds are close to the highway. So once you get off the pavement, whichever one you're in, I think La Posa South and La Posa Tyson Wash across the highway, the two furthest from town, when you get out, you can get away from people. You can be pretty much by yourself. I don't think it's going to be like this. It's not going to be quite this quiet, but you won't be having people parking right next to you, that's for sure. Just go out there and check it out. Drive out there, just keep on going. And the further out you go, the thinner the crowd will get. Mark Glampley, 851, asks, how much do they charge to dump my tanks and how much to buy the water? I go into a RV pit stop. Last year, they were cheaper than they are this year. They charged me $10 to dump my tanks. And they charge me $14 if I want to dump the tank and fill with fresh water. So I don't do the water because I have small tanks. I've only got an 11-gallon freshwater tank here, and I can go to the drinking water station where I put in $1 and get 5 gallons of drinking water, not just well water. And so for $2, I can fill my tank, but they're going to charge me $4 at the RV pit stop. So I only dump there, and there's other places to dump, and I haven't looked around. I want to investigate and see if I can get a better deal. But really, I can go 2 weeks with my tanks. It just takes a little practice, but with management, I can keep this down to where I don't fill up my gray tank and my black tank for 2 weeks. So I don't need to dump except for once every 2 weeks. So $20 a month, is not a bad deal. I just pull out of here, drive down there for 10 minutes, dump my tank, and come on back. Simon Alcock, 2521. Simon Alcock. All right, Mr. Alcock. He's talking about this heater again, our deadly heater. He says, deadly in an enclosed space. I think we've covered that subject. You're absolutely right, Simon. Let's see here. Lonnie Horton, 5083. Oh, Lonnie Horton Jr., 5083. He loves his Mr. Heater, and he loves the fan idea, blowing the hot air towards you instead of having to just go straight up in the air. I'm glad you like that, and that is it. Look at that. Well, it's only like 5 minutes, right? I might edit this down a little bit. If you guys are still with me, thank you so much for staying with me through all of that. It's fun to read these comments and talk about it. I hope you guys get something out of it, and we'll do it again, probably in a couple of weeks. It depends on you guys, really. If I don't get any comments, we got nothing to talk about, so keep them coming. Somebody accused me of yapping too much, and I had a viewer who was so sweet. Here we go. Gail Shaver. Gail, sorry I missed you. She says, yap on, Steve. I just wanted to say thank you, Gail. Keep the videos coming, she says. So I am a yapper, as you guys just found out, and she says yap on. Thank you, Gail. Appreciate you very much. All right, guys, I'm gonna end this video. We're gonna end this on that note, and I'm gonna get to my burger here. So stay tuned. I don't know what's coming up. Hopefully, I'll get over this chronic fatigue problem I've got going on, and we'll be back in business. I think right now I'm gonna jump on this bike, because exercise makes you feel better, and the wind in my hair makes me feel better. So I'll jump on the bike, ride around a little, and remember, for you guys, get out and get some vitamin D. If you've got a bike to ride, ride it. If you can go hiking, hike it. If you can go camping, camp it. If you can come out to Quartzsite, definitely do that. Until next time, keep smiling. Your glass has got to be half full. Good things are coming, right? Good things are coming, and just hang in there. Next year is going to be a great year. All right, the power of positive thinking. Until the next video, hopefully it's going to be real soon. God bless you guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye now.